If you're trying to eliminate every rotation, you might actually be making your solves worse. You already know, it's your boy CuberGains, and today in this video, I'm going to show you what the real problem is. So go ahead and grab your cube, and let's get right into it. To start this off, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what F2L used to look like for me back when I used to think rotations was such a big problem. Starting off with this blue-red pair, I would have done something like this, and then put this over here, and then done this. And then, luckily this landed me with free pair, so I would have just inserted like this. And then now I have this red-green right over here, which I would break it apart like this, and then do this F wide, insert. And then now I have my very last pair, which knowing me back then, I would have definitely have kept it right here. And then finally rotated for that very last one. This is what F2L looks like for me now. So we have this very first pair, and I noticed that this is a bad edge. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate like this, inserting it towards the back. And now we have our very second pair, which is this one. Unfortunately, it made a diag. But now we have this case over here, which again, I would put it towards the back. I'd rotate. And now we have this edge all the way over here. And what I would do for this is putting this edge over here, and I'll do a hedge. And it actually gave me an OLL skip. Nice. You may be wondering, the very first solve only had one rotation, while the very second one only had two. So why is the second one better? Let me explain. The very second solve in a live solve would have had much better turn speed. The very first F2L case I got, I had this case and it had to go towards the back right? So from here, I had to go ahead and do a wide move, which is a lot less finger trick friendly than just rotating and doing this. This is just much faster. So outside of those fancy algorithms, another case that I'm talking about here is, let's say this pair, for example, I go ahead and I do this, and then I have to rotate in order to solve it, which definitely kills my F2L flow, which would be much faster if I rotated first and then did exactly what I had to do. Now for our very second reason, using these non-rotationless algs are going to make your look ahead much worse. Going back to this case I had in the very first solve, which I solved it like this, this makes it a lot harder for me to go ahead and spot my extra pairs just because all these wide moves are hiding the top layer. What would have been better is for this case, instead, I rotated and I went and I solved it normal. And this way, it's a lot easier for me to go ahead and solve my very next pair. So now we know that the real problem is not rotating, but it's how you're using your rotations. So if this is a problem for you, here's how to fix it. You want to know what is good edge orientation versus bad edge orientation. There are many great videos on this, but I'm going to briefly explain this. So these right here are all of our 4 F2L edges, and this one is a good one because it matches with its side centerpiece. So these are the same colors. And we have this red-orange one. This is also good because it does match. It's just on the other side. So if you see opposites from this sticker to the center, that means it's also good. Now these other two edges, the green-orange and the red-blue, these are bad edges because it does not match with its side centerpiece. So you could recognize it as bad if it matches the front or the back centerpiece, like we have over here. So what knowing this tells us is which F2L cases we could go ahead and do first. So since we already know that these two edges are good edges, these are definitely going to be my very first two pairs that I'm going to do. So let's start off with the red-green pair first. Let's do it like this. And then now we have this case over here, which we could just do like this. And then now we have to go ahead and rotate because these two were bad edges, right? So I'm going to go ahead and solve this one first. And now last but not least, we have this case. What's going to make this even easier is knowing how to solve all your F2L pairs intuitively, which I have this video you could go ahead and check out, as well as this one that goes even more in depth as to this concept of when and when not to rotate. Now that is all for this video. If you want to continue making cuber gains, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I really hope this helped you out in your cubing journey. Peace out.